Hello and welcome to this Cybersnacks episode. My name is Andrew Costis, or AC, and I work at AttackIQ out of the UK as a senior cyber threat consultant. Now, before we get started and keeping to the Cybersnacks tradition, I'm going to start off with my favourite snack. Now, I must admit I'm a bit of a sucker for all things sweet, as I'm sure you can probably tell. There are lots of sweets buried here, but more recently I've been trying to take the healthier approach, so I've been using these breakfast bars more recently. So now that we've got that covered, let's continue on with this episode where I'll be talking about the 3 most consequential cyber attacks of 2021. 2021 has been yet another busy year of cyber attacks, from ransomware to zero-day exploits, supply chain attacks, and many, many more. It was actually pretty tricky to narrow down a choice of 3 attacks of this year, as there's just been so many to choose from. So I'll also caveat by saying that the 3 I've chosen is subjective and just my opinion, but if after watching this episode you have a different take on your own 3, then I'd love to hear them in the comments section. So without further ado, and in no particular order, let's get started. So I've chosen the Cassaya VSA attack that happened back in July. Cassaya's VSA is a remote monitoring and management solution used by thousands of companies globally. Cassaya announced on July 2nd that they were experiencing the cyber attack, but things quickly escalated to the point where both their on-prem and SaaS customers were shut down as a precautionary measure, while the instant responders worked tirelessly to get a handle on the situation. What made this attack stand out to me is that not only was this a large-scale supply chain attack that had the ability to disrupt not only the Cassaya VSA customers, but also managed service providers and their customers. The attack involved a zero-day exploit that targeted the VSA software, which essentially allowed the attackers to gain initial entry, and because antivirus exclusions were configured within the software, it allowed an update package to be sent down containing the malicious software, which turned out to then drop the REvil ransomware payload, which was later linked to the Russian cybercriminals. During the investigation, Cassaya did a great job communicating their findings to their customer base and the public, and they were also able to release a compromise detection tool to analyze the system running the VSA and to help determine if any indicators of compromise were present. The REvil ransomware group claimed to have infected more than 1 million computers and demanded $70 million in Bitcoin to decrypt all of their infected machines. Rather interestingly, a few months later, a REvil universal decryptor was posted on a popular hacking forum, which was later confirmed to be the decryptor for the Cassaya VSA attack and the associated victims. And just last month, the US Department of Justice arrested a 20-year-old Ukrainian national for orchestrating the entire attack against the Cassaya servers. So next up, I've chosen the Islands Health Service Executive, or HSE attack, who were hit with Russian-linked Conti ransomware mid-May of this year. They were asked to pay a ransom of $20 million. Now, Islands Health Service took precautionary measures as well by shutting down all of their IT systems in order to fully assess the situation with the help of their security partners. The attackers claimed to have infiltrated the network for more than 2 weeks before the discovery was made. And not only did they encrypt files, but also downloaded more than 700 gigabytes of data, which included patient records, employee records, financial records, and so on. Some days after the attack, the ransomware group released a free decryption tool for the HSE attack. Now, while the attackers showed signs of perhaps having a conscience, they did state that the stolen data will still be published regardless. In another rather interesting twist, a disgruntled threat actor or possibly an affiliate linked with the Conti ransomware operators leaked the Conti playbook a few months later during the summertime. This was essentially a playbook or archive containing the various TTPs and CVEs used by the Conti threat actor, making it an interesting and also an essential read for red and blue teamers. And last but not least, I've chosen the Colonial Pipeline ransomware carried out by the DarkSide ransomware group earlier this year. This is thought to be the same group behind the more recent and emerging Black Matter ransomware operators. The severity and disruption caused by this attack was so severe, the CEO authorized a $4.5 million ransom payment as a way to restart the pipeline's production as quickly as possible. A few months later, during a hearing committee, it was stated that the attack was made possible due to a legacy VPN system that did not have multi-factor authentication in place. And in yet another interesting twist, and likely due to the high-profile media coverage of the attack, the operators of the DarkSide ransomware as a service announced that they would cease operations entirely and would issue decryptors to all of their affiliates. Their blog, ransom website, and crypto wallets have allegedly since been seized. So that concludes my top 3 most consequential cyber attacks of 2021. I hope you've enjoyed this short episode. To all the security folks out there, keep fighting the good fight, continue to do awesome things, enjoy the festivities, and have a great new year. Stay safe.